Hey Live Freshmans, today we are going over 18 points on the main theme of meat. 7 tips for improving our digestion of meat, 10 myths disparaging meat consumption, and 1 essential truth undergirding its vital inclusion into our diet for centuries. Welcome to the Meat Masterclass, exposing the truths that the Beyond Meat CEO doesn't want you to know. I've separated it into useful chapters so that you can quickly reference any relevant pieces of information. This way, it'll make it easier for you later when you're chatting with your friends about that new Netflix documentary that comes out every year. Game changers. You are what you eat. To be able to quickly debunk this Beyond Meat propaganda. Hi. My name is Nathaniel, and my mission is to lay to rest the confusion shrouding healthy lifestyle decisions and reveal the tools and strategies that create bold, courageous, and resilient individuals. Let's make room for the essential and wash away the trivial matters of life together. What if we made a proactive decision today, regardless of the state we're in, vigorously pursue health, not only to survive, but to thrive? Explore, eliminate, execute. Monogastric animals such as poultry, pork, and farmed fish struggle to convert low-quality feed into essential nutrients, leading to excess omega-6 in their fat. Despite the stable consumption of ruminant meats like beef, lamb, and goat, they unfairly receive the blame for the unstable rise in chronic disease. The increasing consumption of omega-6 rich monogastric animals like poultry, pork, farmed fish, nuts, seeds, and oils has not received adequate attention for their role in chronic disease. This prompts questions about the motives of various entities advocating for reduced red meat consumption, including media, studies, governments, Netflix documentaries, and foundations. It's evident that we need to critically assess our information sources, especially considering the fitness and independence from pharmaceuticals observed in the people living in the 1950s. While the practices of that era weren't flawless, adopting some of their approaches, such as a robust intake of ruminant meat, like beef, and drastically lower consumption of fowl, swine, farmed fish, nuts, seeds, and oils could lead to greater success. Ruminant meat offers a complete protein profile, rich vitamin content, and diverse minerals, surpassing vegetables gram for gram in nutrient quality. It's worth noting that while grain-fed beef provides bioavailable protein, its fat may carry more fat-soluble toxins from the feed. Draining some of the excess fat may alleviate some of this concern for you. So what impairs the digestion of animal proteins? We're going to go over these. So impairment 1 is zinc deficiency. May result from consumption of foods high in phytic acids, such as grains, nuts, seeds, and legumes. Phytic acid chelates zinc in the digestive tract, reducing absorption in the bowel. Corn and corn products are among the worst, dropping zinc absorption to near zero. Zinc serves as a cofactor for the enzyme carbonic anhydrase that plays a role in the conversion of carbon dioxide and water into bicarbonate ions and hydrogen ions. These are required for the parietal cells of the stomach to produce stomach acid. Impairment number 2. Iodine deficiency may result from inadequate consumption of seafood and coastal foods. Iodine is essential for T4 to T3 conversion in the liver. Inadequate levels of T3 can give rise to surges in cortisol that can affect sleep quality and severely impact stomach acid production. Stomach acid production is essential for proper digestion of protein and secretion of enzymes and bile from the pancreas and liver. So potassium iodide supplementation may be beneficial for those far from coastal regions who do not consume seafood. Impairment number 3 is sleep disturbances that can inhibit stomach acid secretion through various mechanisms. It can dysregulate the HPA axis, activating the sympathetic nervous system, initiating the release of stress hormones that inhibit release of gastrin, a hormone that stimulates acid secretion. These disruptions in circadian rhythm affecting the timing and regulation of stomach acid production, contributing to indigestion and acid reflux, ultimately affecting nutrient absorption. Impairment number 4 is a lack of physical activity that helps stimulate gut motility through the digestive system, encouraging stomach acid secretion. Impairment number 5 is a choline deficiency that may affect bile flow, leading to a backup of contents in the small bowel. This can lead to bacterial overgrowth and malabsorption of fats. Without the energy from the fats ingested, we slowly lose capacity for normal gastric emptying. Food sits for longer in the stomach, and the body naturally reduces acid as to not burn through the mucosal layer. It also takes a lot of energy to produce that mucosal layer. If this inhibitory process continues, it can result in SIBO and chronic illness. Animal foods are the only significant source of choline, and if they are not consumed, the body must synthesize it on its own, using vast amounts of energy and S-adenosylmethionine, a valuable component of the methylation cycle, that could be put to much better use elsewhere in the body. Impairment number 6 is low sodium or potassium ingestion, and this can affect stomach acid production. Sodium helps by transporting chloride ions inside stomach lining cells. A protein moves chloride ions in and exchanges them for bicarbonate ions. These chloride ions then combine with hydrogen ions to create hydrochloric acid. Potassium chloride may be used as a salt substitute or as supplementation. Impairment number 7 is Helicobacter pylori. As the population of urease-secreting H. pylori increases, acidity levels drop even further, leading to reduced production of critical digestive enzymes by the liver and pancreas again. This can result in bacterial overgrowth, peptic ulcers, stomach, and other cancers. The decreased acidity also causes excess fermentation, leading to the opening of the esophageal sphincter due to a buildup in hydrogen gas. This can result in heartburn. Many other pathologies can affect the production of stomach acid, so it's important to speak with someone who can help you find out why. Now let's debunk some common myths used to vilify the consumption of red meat. Starting off with myth number 1 is that red meat putrefies in the intestinal tract. This would be more indicative of a serious problem in the digestive tract rather than suggesting that red meat is difficult to digest. Any combination of the 7 factors we discussed in our earlier section of this video may contribute to a difficulty to digest, but rarely putrefaction. Those who have undergone surgery to remove portions of their colon and utilize a colostomy bag will know that any meat consumed is dissolved first by their stomach acid, as the only thing they see left in their colostomy bag is undigested vegetable matter. Real accounts of meat putrefaction are almost entirely in the context of an autopsy, where there is good reason to see undigested food of all kinds. Coming in at myth number 2 is Neu5GC in red meat causes enough damage to warrant elimination from the diet. Neu5GC is a sialic acid in red meat. It is potential linked to inflammation and disease in some studies. However, these studies often overlook other important dietary factors like processed foods and seed oils. Neu5GC may disrupt cell membranes by replacing a similar sialic acid in the body, Neu5AC. Grass-fed beef actually tends to have less Neu5GC, and even if consuming grain-fed beef, our bodies use antibodies and immune cells to clear Neu5GC. Since red meat provides crucial nutrients that are challenging to obtain elsewhere, this more than compensates for concerns about Neu5GC, allowing us to keep the body clear of all kinds of inflammatory substances. Coming in with myth number 3 is that red meat increases trimethylamine and oxidase, TMAO, causing inflammation. TMAO is produced in the gut when certain dietary components from red meat like choline and L-carnitine interact with gut bacteria. Some studies even suggest higher TMAO levels are linked to cardiovascular disease. And surely they would be in a system that isn't functioning correctly. However, inflammation is influenced by various factors such as overall diet, lifestyle, genetics, and gut microbiota. The body has detoxifying enzymes like FMO3 in the liver, which convert TMAO into a precursor, trimethylamine, and eliminate it. Improving liver health enhances this process, even though some liver-healthy foods may raise TMAO. While TMAO increases after eating fish, it doesn't mean avoiding fish is necessary. Cutting out TMAO increasing foods would mean eliminating essential nutrients like choline, L-carnitine, and many more. If we lack dietary choline, the body again, like we've learned before, must synthesize it, a resource-intensive process using many enzymes, potentially more taxing on the body than dealing with TMAO itself. Myth number 4, red meat contributes to heart conditions due to its saturated fat content. Saturated fat in red meat raises LDL cholesterol. That can be a concern for our doctors. However, LDL only becomes an issue when it creates damage to our blood vessels and LDL. That is actually oxidized by omega-6, excess iron, excess vitamin A, excess phytosterols, or simply a poor diet. For an in-depth analysis on heart disease, you can visit my link below. Myth 5, red meat raises mTor, leading to a shorter lifespan. Recent research indicates that mTor, a molecule in the body, should be activated similarly to a spring, rather than chronically suppressing it. Activating mTor, as seen during exercise, plays a role in longevity by activating longevity genes. Chronic suppression of mTor is actually no longer advised by longevity experts. Myth number 6, red meat causes gout. While red meat contains purines that can contribute to gout, other factors such as excessive alcohol consumption, high sugar intake, obesity, sedentary lifestyle, medications, and underlying health conditions play more significant roles in the development of gout. Most notably, however, is iron dysregulation caused by copper deficiency. Red meat may contribute to gout if a copper deficiency is present. Like in our last video on this subject, and it's going to be linked below this video as well. Myth number 7, red meat is bad for the environment. While red meat production has environmental implications, it's important to recognize that not all production systems are equal. Sustainable practices like rotational grazing and regenerative agriculture can mitigate environmental concerns associated with red meat production. The water and feed consumed by cows are transformed into valuable resources like meat, fertilizer, and carbon sequestration into the soil. Properly managed grazing can even result in cows sequestering more carbon dioxide into the ground than their life cycle emissions produce. The bottom line is the inclusion of animals into our food production system is non-negotiable. It is a critical element of any ecosystem and the key to creating biodiverse, microbial, and nutrient-rich life in the soils. When considering the impact of methane produced from ruminant animals, it's important to remember that before humans grew in numbers, we had massive herds of buffalo and bison that grazed freely, producing physiologically massive amounts of methane. Methane is still an issue, however. Most comes from the thawing of the Antarctic and other natural emissions from the soil. Myth number 8. Eating meat is cruel, and while certain farming practices can involve animal cruelty, It is important to differentiate between the ethically raised animals and those from industrial feedlot operations. Notably, all of the turtles, snakes, foxes, bunnies, mice, and worm populations displaced and shredded alive by massive tractors in the context of these huge monocrop operations that are standard for the growing of plants around the globe. Ground nesting birds like pheasants, partridges, and meadowlarks are particularly at risk. Even insects such as bees and butterflies and other pollinators can be killed by the disturbance of their habitat. Eating a wholly plant-based diet is perhaps more damaging to our friendly creatures than anything. We simply need to stop vilifying individuals for their dietary choices and understand that humans must eat something and not just breathe air. Therefore, by respecting and providing better living conditions for animals, their lives can be longer, happier, and healthier. Death is an inevitable part of the natural cycle for all of us, and ensuring a quick and painless death is part of responsible animal husbandry. In contrast, denying humans the necessary nutrients found in meat can lead to chronic disease and inhumane living conditions. Myth number 9 is the acidic pH of red meat is a reason to reduce its consumption. Balancing pH in the body has unfortunately become the subject of pseudoscientific activity to sell people expensive alkaline water and other expensive pH-related products. I'm not saying understanding pH value is pseudoscience though. The truth is that the body maintains an extremely strict pH value in the blood between 7.35 and 7.45, and various nutrients have different pH values in the body, and they use those appropriately to buffer and balance our pH. To balance the acidity of red meat due to its high phosphorus and glutamic acid, it's very important to balance this with an appropriate amount of potassium, magnesium, and calcium. Here are some examples. Some of these potassium foods that I like are figs, dates, potatoes, lima beans, avocado, wild salmon, Brussels sprouts, and bananas. Some of my favorite magnesium-rich fruits are figs, dates, bananas, avocados, and dragon fruit. And some of my favorite calcium fruits, to balance that phosphorus again, are oranges, figs, fresh figs, and dates. Many other foods can also balance phosphorus. Myth number 10, red meat shortens the telomeres and end caps of our DNA strands, contributing to the development of cancer-related disease. This was the primary bombshell dropped at the end of the twin study in the Netflix documentary, You Are What You Eat, funded by the Beyond Meat company, making fake meat burgers. It's essential to understand that the result they achieved was mostly due to a poorly designed diet for their omnivores. They did not take into consideration the benefits of feeding their study participants a diet balancing the high phosphorus, protein, and iron content of their omnivores. If they would have taken the simple and careful considerations, the study would have resulted in far different results. However, I don't think the funders of the study would have liked that. Simply balancing iron can have a massive impact because iron can contribute to huge amounts of oxidation. So the truth about red meat contains creatine, taurine, carnitine, anserine, and sarcosine, amino acids that are completely absent in plant foods. These are considered non-essential amino acids because our body can create them from the amino acids termed essential. Understand, however, that creating these amino acids in our body when they are absent from the diet requires massive amounts of energy, just like creating choline. And it depletes other valuable nutrients and amino acids in the body. Why force all these enzymatic reactions to occur by systematically depriving ourselves of them? This has no biological basis and should be questioned very critically. We developed stone tools for hunting thousands of years ago for a reason. Because our human digestive tract, regardless of blood type, is purpose-built with an incredibly acidic stomach pH of under 2, suiting us for digestion of animal cells, allulose, not plant matter, cellulose. Because we do not possess a cecum or reticulorumen, and our colon is very short compared to purpose-built herbivores, like a cow, this does not mean that we are the elites, better than all other living things, or that we are more important. We must be respectful in the hierarchy and care for our ecosystems and make this place like the Garden of Eden so that we can be equitable in how we treat our livestock and soils for the plants that we grow. Because we are all one fabric, and to succeed we must be enlightened to share an appreciation for all things and their purpose within the ecosystem. This emphasizes the importance of choosing high quality, responsibly sourced food and incorporating it into a balanced diet of high quality minerals, vitamins, carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Bottom line is that many studies are currently rigged to sell whatever makes the most profit, not what makes you the healthiest. In almost every country, governmentally produced dietary guidelines are optimized for industry profit rather than ourself. And I'm going to link an example from the United States below this video. And so I'm glad you were able to tune in for the Meat Masterclass, and that all of these myths and impairments of stomach acid and the essential truths undergirding our consumption of meat for centuries is helpful for you in understanding the importance of meat in the context of a well-balanced diet. Please share any questions you have below in the comments, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe for the next videos.